To agenda item 8, which is presentation and discussion regarding establishing a community youth center in the city of Mesquite. Councilman Littman, I believe this is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. All I'm going to do at this point is introduce again Pastor Lee, who's going to explain the program as he envisions it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Pastor Lee.
Thank you. Before coming here and talking to you about what I want to say, a lot of people have talked to me about needing to put together a PowerPoint presentation in order to sell you or to convince you upon the need of having a youth center. And I really don't think I have to. I think this is something that we all know that is desperately needed for our community. This was something that I heard of when I first moved into our city 7 years ago. And while there's been a lot of talk, unfortunately, there's been little, if any, action toward it. Therefore, I'd like to take the time to thank the council for finally getting this up on the agenda, where we can talk about it and get something done for our youth population here. And what I'm talking about is a need for a safe, dedicated center where our youth can hang out after school and throughout the summer months. What I'm talking about is finding a way to positively invest in our next generation of young men and women. Mesquite is a great place for our retirees to come. The city has taken great strides to make sure that the senior population has been taken care of. There's plenty of things to do in our community for the adult and the senior population, but there is very little for our youth population. Now, no way I'm saying that there is nothing for them to do. I'm not saying that. But there is nothing that is consistent throughout the week, both during the school year and over the summer months. Further, I'm not trying to take away from the existing programs that are out there right now and youth programs, because they're all excellent. From the family services and the boxing club to the Boys and Girl Scouts. We have after-school programs both at the middle and high school. There are two movie theaters for Mesquite, who would have thought? 2 movie theaters here. We also have a bowling alley. We have an arcade center. And then there's the recreation center that we have that has absolutely excellent programs for our children, youth, and adult population. But there is no place for the youth to go and hang out without having to pay for the privilege. A place provided just for them that will not only help them get them off the streets, but provide a safe and positive environment for them. A lot of times we see the youth just walking the streets, or they're hanging out at the local hotel or casino, or they're staying in somebody's house, or they're hanging out in somebody's house, and most of the time without any adult supervision because the parent or parents are having to go out and work and make ends meet, and so they're by themselves. And so to make this work, I have reached out to the community, and for the most part have secured most of the support of our community. From the business community to the educational community, to the judicial and law enforcement community, to the arts community, but more important than that, to the youth community. And speaking to someone involved in the Boys and Girl Scouts, because that's an excellent program that is here in our city, but they also saw the need of a youth center, because they provide excellent activities for both boys and girls and youth, but not every day of the week. And not all of our youth are involved in Boys or Girl Scouts. So they saw the need. They're the ones that said, yes, there is a need for a youth center here. I also spoke to both of our principals, Maurice Perkins and Cliff Hughes, and they also saw a need for a youth center. You know, they have great after-school programs, including athletics. The only problem with that is not all the kids are involved in all those things. And if you belong to a club, you might meet once a week. If you're involved in athletics, well, it's only during that time of the season that that athletic program is a part of. What do they do the rest of the time? What do they do during the summer months? And so they saw a need for a youth center as well. In short, there are a lot of kids that are slipping through the cracks. And for those that are involved in one or more of these activities, there's not something for them to do every day of the week. Someplace where they can go to have a good time, to see those people that they like, to hang out with them, or to find those people that will help them. Help them with their schoolwork through a mentoring program that is going to be starting up next year in our schools that are here. Or to talk to those who are licensed counselors. or to talk to those who are certified life coaches. I recently talked to a school counselor who relayed to me that this year has been the worst of them all. Worst of them all. The amount of kids that are delinquent and dropping out has increased. It's also the amount they're discouraged and they're depressed. He's never seen anything like this before. But on top of that, there's even been talk of suicide. I hope that just sinks in. Because I'm tired of losing our youth. So the question becomes, are we willing to risk any more losses in our youth population until we start doing something? What I'm asking for the city government to do is find ways to help in this overall process. It may be, and I'm going to ask for that library space that's over in the old school. It's very rarely being used for anything except for a polling station during, what's that, twice a year at the most. It's being used as a place where a couple of our local community, I'm trying to think of the Mosquitoes and some others that they do rummage sales that are there. The We Care for Animals has their adoption that's there. There's no reason why the youth can't help in these things. But are we willing to just leave that vacant just for a couple of garage sales and let our youth still wander the streets? We need a place, and that's a perfect place. It's centrally located so the youth can walk to it either after school, or if you've noticed something, that the majority of our youth are centered on this side of the community and not on the other side. It's also an excellent space to help connect the youth to the other programs, including the boxing club, recreational center, and the arts center. You see, our goal is not to take away from the existing programs that are out there. Our goal is to help them help our youth. That is our goal. In speaking to the youth, several things that have come up that I'd like to share with you that they would like to see in a youth center that is not presently being offered to them. Not only a place that is open after school and on weekends, but a place where they can hang out with their friends, where they can play some games, and even have a place where they can hold some dances or some social activities. And the old library fits that bill perfectly. Now we're looking at another location, yes, but whether that location comes out or not, I can't be positive. But are we willing to wait for someone else maybe to come up with something? We need something now.